Hello everyone, it's me, Nancy Finch, almost running late today. Another Tea with Nan at 12 o'clock on a Monday. Thank you for joining us. I've got my heart cup today, isn't that nice? I feel like full of love, full of happiness. It's got ginger tea in it, it's lovely. I hope you're all okay and having a good time so far on a Monday. I love Mondays. They're the best time for me because they're the new beginnings of the week. So I'm waiting for someone to join me so I can wish you a happy Monday. I hope you've had, as I say, a good week. It seems to rush past, doesn't it? It's like 5 minutes ago I was on here last. I'm not on here the next 2 weeks because I'm really busy with other things and doing charity stuff and things. So I can't make it on that Tea with Nan for the next 2 weeks, but keep following these and you'll find that you will get some gem to play with probably in 3 weeks' time, some exercise. So today is all about something I don't often talk about something I've experienced on this level. It's a film I've watched, and some of you will actually know what I'm talking about. You may have seen it already. And someone's joined us. I want to wish you a happy Monday. It's called The Salt Path, and people are talking about it all over the place, all over the world, especially in Cornwall. I'm living in Cornwall, as you know. Oh, Ellen, hi, darling. It's lovely to see you. Big, big hug to you. Ellen, have you seen Salt Path yet? Because it's a story that I watched last week, and I'm actually going to take a friend to see it again tonight. But it's an amazing film, not just for its story, but for what it represents and how it makes you feel and how it makes you evaluate everything you have in your life and what's important and what isn't. And we all get attached to our outside situations, you know, the home we live in, the possessions we have, the good health we take for granted, all of those things. And they are there around us and they make us feel safe, or we think they do. And we feel very insecure if that is taken away from us, you know. But if something harsh happens to us, we can actually grow so strong from that and we can be cleansed from it. Now, The Salt Path is one of the best films I've ever seen. It's brilliant. It's a lovely story. I'm not going to ruin it for you. I'm not going to tell you the ending or anything, but the journey of it, I recommend it because it is so... It's inspiring, yes, it's hopeful. You get hope. You know, there are Raina, Wynne and Moth, lovely characters. You know, it's based on their story. It's a true story. And of course, Raina wrote a book about it after. But the whole journey, you can actually feel every part of it that they're feeling. And how would it feel for yourself? And it kind of, the whole essence of the film is all about sort of stripping yourself down almost to bare bones of your spiritual self. And that's what I got from it. I've got a lot of inspiring things. I've listed them all on a board. I can hardly read, there's so much on it, but there's so many things. I mean, the gifts that they've got along the way, I feel, are things like courage and strength and hope and acceptance. Brilliant. Oh, hi, Val. Thank you for joining us, darling. Happy Monday. So it's a really good film. Val, you know what I'm talking about here because I was talking about The Salt Path. It's kind of like the whole story, the whole talk today, I've labelled it, Be Salted, Let's Be Salted. And what I mean by that is when the cleansing has touched you, you are never the same again, you know? When you've got all those gifts that you've got along the side of all the things that all the hardships you might have gone through in your life. Oh, hi, Jane. Nice to see you, darling. Happy Monday. Thank you for joining us. And please share this, guys, with other people. This might just be the inspiration they need. And of course, the homework is to go and watch the film, okay? If you can, find the film, watch it, because this is your homework. It's something you can take from it on a personal level. And I know I looked at that film and thought, wow, there's so many gifts. As I say, acceptance brings peace. And that's one of the things I'm going to be talking about a bit more. Support for each other, joy, peace in the moment, living in the moment, not living for tomorrow or finding happiness in the future somewhere. That I'll be happy when I get that, or when that bill's paid or whatever. This is something far deeper than that. This is about finding your own resourcefulness, your determination, your spiritual growth. And this film represents all of it to me. When I looked at it, I thought the whole world is going to feel the vibe of how you feel from watching this film. This is collective consciousness I'm getting excited about, because as you look into your own life and realize how have you changed through your hardships, and this is one hardship after another in this film, And there's such a beautiful moment. There is such a beautiful moment. I'm not even reading this in order. They give you one of these at the cinema, right? Lovely. So I'm not ruining anything. Most of you have seen the trailer anyway, but I won't ruin anything. So they go along the coastal path, okay, of Cornwall and other places. And it is wonderful to watch them because he's got a disabling illness, very, terminal, they reckon. And so they've got to leave their home. They get evicted from it, and the bailiffs are in. And basically that's the basic story, where they have nowhere to go and they're homeless. And she decides to pick up this book and follow the path. Well, I'll let you follow that in the film, but I'm really talking about the essence of the film today and why that's so exciting. And perhaps when you do see it, you can think, I can see why I'm so excited about it. I can see myself in that, because we can all relate to the hardships that we've had through our lives, whether it's physical or circumstantial, like it was in here. So, I mean, it's a beautiful film. It really is. But there's a bit here that I want to read to you. See that writing all the way along there? I shall read it to you. This is my favourite bit in the film. Now, I realised it was my favourite before I even read this. Almost towards the end of their journey, when they've been through so much, and emotionally, physically, hardships, financially, they had no money, and it goes on. And they had no support but each other and themselves. That strength, that essence of fire inside them that kept them going every day. We all have to bring that up at some point. And I'll go back to that in a minute. But the bit I really love, and the reason why I called this talk Let's Be Salted, is because we all need to let that wash over us. We almost have to let that situation be, to breathe inside it, to rise above what we see, our stresses, our worries. So almost towards the end of the film, they're sitting there gazing out to the sea, and they're tranquil, and they're peaceful, and they're centered, and they're calm. And a weathered lady comes along, and she sort of looks down and talks to them. Not very long, but she talks to them, and she said, she's talking about the weather or something. And then she looks at them, and she said, yes, you have the look. When it's touched you, when you let it be, you'll never be the same again. You're salted. Yes, you're salted. There it is there, written in the words. I love it so much. For me, to be salted means, I am just cleansed. I am cleansed. Oh, thank you, Sue. Sending a Monday hug as well, darling. To just be. I mean, they'd been through so much. And in that moment that woman said, you're salted, they'll never be the same again. They've grown spiritually, emotionally, mentally. They've grown in the sense of who they are. And it was a content feeling that I got when I looked at that they were fine just as they were in that moment. That they didn't worry about where the next meal's coming from, or where they're going to sleep, or any of that stuff in the future that we tend to worry about. We tend to worry about all the things in the future, how we feel about the past. When you're walking away from it like they were, when you are free from the thoughts of the past or the future, or even what's coming up, what we take for granted that makes us feel safe. When you're free from that, then you're a total free spirit inside. And you're cleansed from everything that we really thought was important. We think that so many things are important outside, and it's not. Sending me some. Chloe says, sending love and bringing sunshine on a rainy Glasgow Monday. Oh, I love Glasgow. One of my favourite places. My mum was born in Glasgow. And, you can't beat Glaswegians. They're the best. I love them. I must go back. But I didn't know it was raining there, but it's a bit cloudy here in Cornwall. So thank you for joining me. I love that. Please tell me where you all are, because sometimes I just love to imagine being there, or I'll actually go there and visit you. So, if I go there, I'll tell you, Chloe. You can tell me where to go. All the best places to go. So, be salted. Think about the journey we've been on in our life. We've been through so many times that we thought we just can't cope anymore, that this has happened or that happened. When I lost my home, when I had no money, I wasn't homeless, but I was very, had no money. No, I wasn't rich in any way. I was stressed. I was worried. I had 2 young children at the time. I was on my own. I found the power inside me to come up. Oh, Chloe says West End is fabulous for it. Eateries. Lovely. Oh, I've got something to look forward to when I go to Glasgow then. Thanks, darling. So Be Salted can represent all the things that we need to be cleansed from, that we need to let go of, and acceptance brings peace. You know, when you grow stronger and spiritually evolve, you can't ungrow. It's a bit like growing a shoe size. You can't go back to a size you were when you were younger. You know, when you were smaller, you can't. You just automatically grow and you see things differently. I mean, at the end of that, because they rose their emotional level higher, they stopped being worried, they stopped being stressed, they stopped being reactive. They let go of blame and all that stuff and self-judgment. They let go, all the negatives were let go of, so they could breathe in the moment as they were walking this path. And at the end, you know, because this moment I'm talking about, where that woman said it, recognized it in them, that you've been salted. It, for me, as I say, it was the best part, and I'll never forget it, because from there, the energy of a person will move up. And even watching it, by the way, you'll feel better. You'll feel your energy lift, because of course you're going to feel everything they feel. So, and miraculous things happened to him on the journey, where the physical things that he was told he couldn't do, he could. And there's lots of lovely, good feelings about that. Lots of joy in this film as well. So, because their energy rose up, and in a sense that they were no longer worried, no longer stressed, they were naturally attracting, by the law of attraction, more things that were good around them. So somebody fed them, or somebody looked after them, or they were given wild fruit. You know, they were cared for, because they were attracting good things to happen to them. Oh, hi, Faith. Thank you for joining us, darling. I'll see you later. So really, really, I'm going to go on about it to you, Faye, later. I really love this film, The Salt Path. It is so good. But anyway, rewind this, listen to it again if you have to. But it's the messages, it's the story, it's the essence of the film that I'm going on about. So their energy was risen up because of their acceptance, their peace, what they've gone through, their strength, who they were in that moment. And so they attracted more and more and more good things, and their energy continued to rise. So when they got to their destination and they were celebrating how far they'd come, they naturally attracted more good things. Somebody put them up for the night, apparently, and then they ended up being more abundant than they were with everything they lost, with the farm and everything else they had. They were more abundant at the end and cleansed from everything that they thought was really important. And there's lots of things that he says to her at the end that is beautiful. And this is a true story, so I'm going on about it. But it's very touching in your heart. And once you've watched it and you relate to it, and how maybe you have been salted, what have you been through that has cleansed you on a stripped back level? What has cleansed you? What has made you grow? Has it been a physical thing? Most people I know, friends on here as well, who have been through an awful lot of physical things, you're growing through that. You're growing aware. You're growing stronger. It's something that if you get through it, you're feeling different about everything. How many people, when they've been really ill, say, well, I'm not doing that again, or that's a waste of time. I don't know what I was thinking doing this. You realise where you want to put your energy, your time, your essence, your energy, who you are. Do we waste our time on things? And we do it because we think we have to, or this makes us feel good, or we feel safe in that environment. And then we realise what's real. People that have near-death experiences, they come out of it if they're lucky and they say, I'm not doing this, I know who I am. And everything changes. The way you look at the world changes. Everything changes. And when you do that, you've evolved. And when you've evolved, you're no longer really attracting the hardships that you've been through if you can take the gift out of it. Now, there's a talk I did. If you go to my YouTube channel, I haven't got a website now. So YouTube, Nancy Finch. And there's a talk I did called Pile of Manure. It's brilliant. Look at that. Go to the Nan Talks, look down and find Pile of Manure. I haven't got the dates on here actually, but who cares? So Pile of Manure is all about where you imagine that life gives you a big pile of manure. You don't want to get near it. It's hardship, it's challenges, it's difficult. And you might have a big pile in front of you, metaphorically. you want to kind of put your imaginary gloves on, and you want to imagine that you're going into that pile of manure and you are taking out a gift from that situation, metaphorically. So I've made this up many years ago because I had lots of it every day. There was always some big challenge to deal with. And the more gifts you take out, say, for instance, self-worth, it might be acceptance, it might be being in the moment. What's the gift I'm taking from that challenge? And the more gifts you take out, the less pile of manure. But if you don't take enough gifts out of that situation, then you might ignore it. And you say, I don't want to go there. I don't want to find the gifts from it. I don't want to find the positives. Then you go round, metaphorically in life, round the corner, and there's a bigger pile. Because you need to learn on a soul level. You need to learn and evolve. And every day and every situation is giving us that opportunity. So if you can think about that situation, that pile of manure, that challenge, as these people did, I must meet Raina at some point. I think I'm going to meet, because I live in Cornwall, and they're in Cornwall. So Raina, Wynn and Moss, wonderful. I'm going to go and see them, I think, and talk to them about this, because the way that they are affecting the whole world by their story, by the truth of it, by the liberation of it, by the growth of their own experience is wonderful. It's not, anyone can give up. Anyone might feel that that's it, I'm just going to give up and I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to accept it. But your soul won't evolve. And so when you push through things that really seem impossible, miracles can happen. And then you have this wonderful liberation feeling, exhilaration of being alive through that. And you'll see what I mean when you watch the film. But, you've been touched by the sea. You've been touched by the experience, I think. And you'll never be the same again because you've grown and evolved. Now, I haven't even looked at this. I think I've covered quite a lot of it. But to reset ourselves from that challenge, to know what's important and what isn't important. How many years, and don't blame yourself for this because I don't, but how many years have you been through what isn't important and you've just treaded water, you had your blindfold on, you've just, just existed, just plodded along through life. When you can reap the rewards from change. And if we can say we're not afraid of change, we embrace it. If it's forced upon us, it was forced upon them. They didn't want that change. They'd lived there, brought their children up there all their life. And, it's what you feel home. That home in self makes us feel great. We feel safe. But when it's taken away from you, imagine having to leave your home with nothing but a tent and a book, He does take something else, actually, but I won't ruin it. But imagine, so you leave everything behind. It's like a nightmare. And if you think about that right now, how much courage it took to do that. They had no choice, actually, but they had to find it somewhere in them. And it is one of the best films, as I say. So we get so easily attached to things that we think are important, our material things around us that we love and treasure, But to be cleansed from the attachment is like a Buddhist almost, you're kind of releasing yourself from those attachments and something glorious happens, even if you watch it and you don't want to actually get rid of anything yourself. But think about how we can declutter our lives. Maybe after watching it, maybe emotionally, maybe how much time you spend with people that don't really make you happy, maybe physically. Declutter, just clear out and make it simple, because that's going to give you peace. It's going to give you simplicity is a good thing to be with, because it doesn't complicate our minds with what we've got to look after. Or, I know a millionaire that has too many things he worries about looking after. So it's really not good for you to be too crowded in your mind or your emotions or your soul. And the soul journey is easier when it's simple. So chakras, I think you're doing a tonic for all of them. I think to find courage to change your life, to declutter, you'd help your red base chakra. You're going to have to find the courage somewhere and amongst your journey of new things. And that's going to help stimulate this area. Yes, it closes it to begin with because it's yike, I don't want this. I do decluttering is my job, says Faye. It's amazing what people hang on to. You're right. But you're right, Faye. It's not, people hang on to things because they feel safe with things. It's a big subject, actually. We all do it. I'm guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. We all need to think about this. We hang on to things. But if we were to recycle those things, wouldn't that be great? Someone else can enjoy them. And I'm doing that gradually through my house at the moment. But as you're decluttering your mind, and you're letting space into yourself and to your environment, and something new can enter. And that's where we can be salted, we can be stripped clean, and we can feel that cleansing. We can feel that reunited self on a soul journey. You can see yourself better when there's not, metaphorically, a room full of stuff, you know? So Faye, when you're doing that job, it's a wonderful thing for people to feel they can breathe. They can breathe who they are. That's really cool. So your whole chakras, they'll all be great. But when you've got the courage and the determination and the strength inside you to move forward into a new situation without attachments to old things, old memories, to things you have in your house or your life, to embrace change, and you do it with courage, then you're going to know what this is like. And as long as we can feel safe in any situation if we choose to. If we think, right, no, I can do this, you can. So let's read my book a bit, my thing. The book, I haven't got the book yet, but most people can get the Salt Path book. I haven't got it yet, but I will. Apparently there's 2 books been written. A lot of people have told me they prefer the first one, but I'm going to buy 2. Of course, I'm going to have 2. But I haven't read it yet. I do declutter. Oh, I thought there was something else up there from you, Faye. It moved. Right, so what have I got on here? So yeah, when you grow, you can't ungrow. You can see it in people's eyes. You know, when people have been through a lot, I see a lot of clients. And as you know, I've had a very challenging life, which I do not regret. I embrace because I've had so many gifts out the pile of manure. When I look into people's eyes and I can see that they're old souls, they've been through a lot, even younger people. Oh, Ellen says she's reading it now. Oh, I bet the book is wonderful. Of course, the film, I'm a very visual person, so I'm very dyslexic, so books are harder for me to digest what I'm reading and to what it's about, but the visual thing always works for me, so I'm glad to watch it twice, really, like I'm going to. But yeah, it's going to change you. I mean, but in the story, he gets stronger. So Faye says, I witnessed people feeling very uplifted after decluttering. Yeah, because they can breathe, they can see room, space, and suddenly they feel that space within themselves, don't they? They feel that, that feeling of new beginnings, and that's going to give you more energy. I mean, this, you know, but Moth in the film was very ill to begin with, and you watch how he goes through the film. And what happens afterwards? There is an interview I put on my Facebook page. She's briefly interviewed about how they felt after their experience. And she talks about how the book was composed to keep him, to remind him of his journey and to keep him well. So if you can, just have a look at the interview on my Facebook page. Scroll back and you'll find it a few days ago. So I really think that it's an amazing story. I'm just looking here. Yeah, it's just about you realizing that the power of the mind over matter, the reality of the experience. We can easily look at what is not right in our lives. But how often do we look at what story is? Oh, Kerry's asking what the story. Okay, without ruining it, of course, this is on the trailer. Just jumped on. Oh, sorry, Kerry. This is all about the Salt Path, the film that you might have heard about, and it's about being salted. So Let's Be Salted is my talk today, especially on this subject because of all the gifts they got along the journey. Have a listen to this again, Kerry, when you go back. And the sentence I like is when this old lady says, yes, you have the look. She looks into their eyes. I see the look in my clients. I know when they've been through hard times, and I always know that they've grown, but all they have to do is see the good things that have come from it. Because when you've been touched by your experiences, you'll never be the same again. You're clean, you're salted, there's nothing left but to accept yourself, okay? So when Kerry says her mum watched it, a lot of people that live here in Cornwall, we felt we had to watch it really because it's filmed here. A lot of older people feel they have to watch it, but the younger people today, They don't realise what they're missing. I didn't see a lot of younger people, maybe a couple in the audience when I went to go see it. But if you could encourage them perhaps, because they don't realise the essence of everything that they think is important. You know, when I was 20 or 30, I thought a whole load of things were important that aren't. And in a way, just being real and validating the essence of the relationships are more important, and yourself and your own values and your own strength and your own truth is more important than anything we think is important when we're younger. You know, how we look to others, that kind of thing. That was, a lot of people suffer that. So we need acceptance when we have hardships, and we need to find peace inside that. And that's one of the things I loved. And I really hope you see it, Kerry. I would make sure you do it, actually, because it's a homework for everybody to realise I can relate to that feeling. I can relate to that having to give something up to evolve. And I've had to give up loads of things in my life, even recently, actually, with some of my work. I've given up things that I've got attached to, that my identity was wrapped up in and I felt secure with. But I'm okay. I'm good, because I've got, as I'm shutting one door, another door opens, as my mum used to say, and I'm allowing that. And to be in the moment, acceptance brings peace. Now that brings me to one of the symbols. This is a really nice symbol to attach to if you want to find acceptance, so you can be grounded before you engage change, before you see what gifts you've got in that pile of manure. I reckoned that you should watch. Yeah. Oh, another tea with Nan, by the way, Silence is Golden. I did that a couple of weeks ago. It's really good. Silence is Golden is, or maybe even last week, it's been a long week. It's all about, now look it up, it's lovely. It's all about finding that silence so you can see yourself. So maybe have a look at that tea with Nan on my YouTube channel, Silence is Golden, and of course the pile of manure on Nan Talks. Right, so this is a nice little acceptance symbol. This is to set an intention that you can rebalance yourself with acceptance. Acceptance brings peace. So take a deep breath, and we can draw it together. Take a deep breath, bring it up and bring it down. This is kind of like a harmony feeling. And acceptance is like a triangle inside, like a triangle of self, the higher self, the inner child, and you, all sitting in a place of peace, of acceptance. Acceptance brings peace, it brings clarity. If you could do that symbol in the air, perhaps do it in the air, draw it. These will all be in a book one day, and certainly in a pack of cards that I plan to do. Acceptance. So maybe that is just what you need to be able to breathe, not in the moment, but not to react against that was wrong, or that's wrong, or this is wrong, that shouldn't have happened, this is an injustice. You'll see some of that in the film, which is great. Work through it and identify yourself with that film, because where can you be salted? Where can you change how you see it and see the positives? Where can you laugh at things, adversity? Where can you see the gifts in that pile of manure that you've been through? Everybody listening here has been through something where they've had to grow from. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you grow stronger, right? So maybe you can laugh. Maybe you can see your determination. Maybe you can see your spiritual growth. All the things I wrote here. Maybe you can find hope in a hopeless situation. Maybe you can just sit with courage and confidence that you can get through something, and smile at yourself for all the things that you've ever been salted with. You know, metaphorically, these people actually were physically salted. The sea air, it's got some really funny bits in it as well. But if they were cleansed, and I believe that they're changed for good, just like that woman said. So I'm going to say this one more time, my favourite line of the whole film. Yes, you have the look. When it's touched you, when you let it be, you'll never be the same again. You're salted. And we'll all look like this, serene from it, when you realise with joy the things that you've got through. Okay? Jane says she can't wait for that book. Yeah, the book I believe is brilliant. I would recommend with all my heart that you see both. You see the film and you read the book, because it's the expression, the energy, the look. It's in the film that is lovely. And of course, books are usually better than films, but I recommend you have that. For people like me who need that visual thing and can actually feel the energy of those wonderful actors, go and enjoy it. research the film and see it wherever you can. So it's lovely. Your whole body will feel that. You'll feel it in your heart. I'm sure your immune system will be stronger from watching this, because we all feel the feelings of other people. So if you can watch this film, you're bound to see something in it that you can relate to, and you can breathe that cleansed feeling that you've been salted. I might get everyone to sort of just think about it. Write it out. Write it out. I'm salting myself. I'm cleansing myself on all levels, and I become a cleaner, more authentic sense of self. Good. I don't think I've left anything out, but yeah, if I have, I have. Who cares? Just that feeling of being. Let it be. You'll just let it be. That's what made me think acceptance was good for it. Let it be. You know, even sing the song, Let It Be. Right. I'm not going to be on here for the next 2 weeks. I'm doing some charity work and other stuff. Happens to be on a Monday, so I can't be on here, but I'll be on in 3 weeks' time. So please share this. Look at all the other talks I've done. Maybe I've done hundreds on the Tea with Nan Talks exercises, as you know, and the meditations are there. Everything's free. The music's free there as well that I've done. So enjoy, and please share this with other people. And this has been one of the longest Tea with Nans, because I've just waffled on about how great this film is. But I want you to experience the collective consciousness of it. I want you to feel, as you evolve in yourself, you're helping the whole world. Oh, thanks, Sue. You're helping the whole world. The vibe is going out like a web. And everybody feels that. As you grow and evolve, so do other people. They do that naturally. Oh, thanks, Jane. Lots of love to you. And of course, if you can see the gifts and everything you've been through, your energy will be higher. You're no longer attracting, or less likely to attract, the things that gave you the hard stimulus here in life. You're more likely to have an easier time. And you'll see that happen throughout the film, actually. Towards the end, everything's easier, because you've grown and evolved, and you're here. And I'd love you to be there. And if you want to come back and talk to me about it, you can always email me, nancyfinch@hotmail.co.uk, or come back on here and tell me how you feel. Lovely. Give yourself a big hug from me. It's a namaste moment, and I'll see you in 3 weeks' time. Yes. Lots of love to all of you. And let's get salted. Let's enjoy the cleansing and enjoy the film. Take care, everybody. Bye.